is going to be different. I want to start out by asking you to do this. Indulge me. Please close your eyes. In your mind's eye, create an image of the earth. Now imagine the center of your image. What does that look like in your mind's eye? Stay with the visual. Now take a deep breath in from the center of the earth. Feel the breath coming in from that core through all the layers of the earth into your feet and slowly spreading to all of the parts in your body. Your organs, your skin, even your nails. Feel that breath like it's rushing into you to anchor you. Your breath is anchoring you to the earth the way a boat might anchor to its shore. Now imagine that anchor to be as big as you like, because the bigger the anchor, the stronger the connection you will be able to generate with the center of the earth. And the more stable you will be while breathing from the earth's center. After you have created that strong connection with the earth and are breathing with flow in a continuous manner, ask yourself this. What does the word family mean for you? What do you imagine when you envision that perfect family life for yourself? How does that image of your perfect family make you feel? Do you feel warm or cold? What is the exact visual that comes up in your mind's eye? How would you describe that feeling of having a perfect family in just one word? Why don't you write it down, and I'll be right back. When I did this exercise and really felt into the word family, I imagined my family on a hike in the woods in the fall, carrying our own backpacks with snacks, us singing songs and chatting and laughing. I felt safe. I was having fun, and I was connecting even more to myself as I was in that environment with my loved ones and nature. Interestingly, I felt as if nature was part of my family, and I felt supported. Namaste and welcome to my channel. My name is Bhavna, and today I want to talk about family and the real purpose of family. Yes, there is such a thing. 6 years ago, my visual for this exercise would have sent me into a panic. I had way too many distortions when it came to family. I always saw families as struggling to connect with each other. 6 years later, I see family as a safe space where each family member can expand into their own brilliance. This was my journey to creating an unbreakable family. I can't stress this enough. Your family is your mirror. That mirror shows you how far you are from becoming love, from embodying love. Because your innate nature is that of love. When you embody love, you feel love for your whole family, your community, and even humanity. You know that there's parts of your family, your community, and even humanity that are broken. But you can see them not for their brokenness. You're able to see them for their potential to becoming unbreakable. That is what embodying love can be like. You only experience love in every single interaction and every experience. The great poet Rumi said, "You have more love in you than you could ever imagine." I can tell you from my own personal experience that loving myself was the hardest thing I ever did. I am still on that journey of acceptance, understanding, and forgiving, and of loving all the parts of me that are still broken and still healing. Your family is a gift, but sometimes you have to appreciate that gift from afar, and sometimes you get to appreciate their contribution to your life by showing them that transformation is possible. Either way, you can choose to elevate not just yourself, but your entire family, simply by deciding to understand what love is, what true love is. Your family is your best teacher. They show you where you are weak and where you need to change. But you have to be ready to see the gift that your family is. Your family gives you the gift of traveling to your heart, your soul. Whether you get along with them is frankly not even important in your own journey to awakening, to your soul's brilliance. But you can use any situation that you are in right now with your family to understand the instructions or patterns that are controlling how all your relationships turn out. Whether it's your friends, your family, acquaintances, or even colleagues at work, you can use every single interaction with them to learn something about you. And teaching how to use those interactions for your own inner growth is my passion. For example, let's say you find that your kids never listen to you. It's such a broad problem, really, but it could be traced back to so many different patterns that you might be operating at the unconscious level. I will show you how to understand what is happening within you that is causing you to feel disconnected from your children. So let's say that your kids ignore the chores they need to do at home, and this is really frustrating you. The question then becomes, how will you respond? Because all that is happening is that the mirror, your kids, are showing you the instructions that you embody in this moment. Instead of lashing out at them or punishing them or taking things away, not speaking to them or even yelling at them, you can literally take a time out, breathe deeply from the center of the earth, come back in your body, and ask yourself how the situation makes you feel. Get to a point of neutrality, of a neutral emotional state, because that is the only way you can figure out an actual solution. It has to start with you. Sure, you can teach your kids lessons and all that, but how effective those teachings will be will depend on the work that you do within yourself. So you go back, calm down, and then start the inner work. You ask yourself why it bothers you this much that your kids don't listen to you. And if you have watched the series I released on how to change your life, you would have understood how to figure out the underlying instructions or patterns that you are running. And when you go through this process that I explained in these videos, you might as well have understood that maybe you really need your kids to listen to you because that is how you feel connected to them. And when you feel connected to them, overall, you feel heard, you feel happy. You realize it's not about them listening, really. It's about you not feeling heard by others. That is what is troubling you. And frankly, that's when your healing begins. Maybe what you needed as a child was to feel heard. and you never got that. So that is again coming up as trauma that your kids are going through. Ask yourself if it's time to stop the cycle now by resolving your own trauma. Simply starting to understand the patterns that you run is enough for your healing to begin. And that is where self-awareness comes into play. Becoming aware of your own patterns allows you to not lash out and repeat the cycle of abuse that you may have experienced. One of my favorite authors wrote, "Enjoy the sunshine, but trust the darkness too. It is more than to be endured. It is to be experienced and later cherished." Your family might provoke you. Your family might try to control you. Your family might abandon you. Your family might even take advantage of you. And they might also disrespect you. What you do at the physical level in terms of staying in touch with them or not is 100% your decision. You do what you feel is right for you in that moment. My goal for this video is to explain how you can use any situation you experience as a spark to change your life. Sometimes people do not have the privilege of experiencing true love while growing up. In fact, most people experience a distorted form of love, controlling love, abusive love, insecure love that comes with huge sacrifice and compromise. Many parents even stay together not because they love each other, but because they sacrifice the potential for true love to keep their identities intact, to feel a sense of security. Most people have experienced this kind of distorted love in their lives. They might have physically moved on from their families or created a distance between themselves and the family. But the memories still prevent them from moving on. That is because the memories are so painful, and that pain needs to be released, not buried deep within your body. You can't move on without addressing the issue at hand and dealing with it and releasing it. If you bury it, it will haunt you forever and show up at the most unwelcome time in an unwanted form. So even if you do not have family that you stay in touch with, you can still use the memories from the past to experience true healing. You might have buried the memories so deep that you can't even access those memories today. And even then, simply setting an intention to begin healing is enough for your daily life to present situations for you to heal and transform yourself. And if you have children, you can start to create happy memories for them now so they can access them later on. Remember, the more you heal your trauma, the less your children will have to carry your burdens, and the happier they will be internally. Your family gives you a glimpse into how your life is. And life and death are simply points in a cycle of our existence. The journey from life to death is one where we can make the most difference and bridge the gap between our current reality with our family and the reality we want to be at. The one you experienced at the beginning of this video. So, how can we use the opportunity that parenting children has given us to heal ourselves? Parenting is such a great opportunity, an opportunity of a lifetime really, to understand the distance between your current self that might be broken and your most loving self, you, the love that you are, where you don't need to reach for self-love. It's not outside of you. You are love and you are whole. Instead of giving you an example here, an external example, I'm going to talk about how my parenting style has changed over time, the before and the after. Before my own transformation took place, parenting was a burden to me. Literally, I was so sick in my body. that parenting was not a normal everyday experience for me the way it might have been for you. It was a burden to get out of bed and take care of children. I had to really push myself. In short, it was not joyous. What I realized over time was that parenting the way I was doing it was simply an extension of how I felt about myself within. I had felt that I was a burden, a liability, and that illness that I was dealing with didn't really make that feeling go away. In fact, it made it more pronounced. The guilt and shame that came with feeling like a burden, seeing my parenting responsibility as a burden, was enough for me to say enough. I had to figure out solution for this, because when I imagined living for the next so many ever years and not being able to show up as the best version of human, of partner, and mom, that feeling terrified me. During my transformation, I realized that I wanted to parent my kids the way they needed me to show up. So, for example, one kid needed to be silly and play all the time, and the other one needed to be heard. So, I had to be available for them the way they needed me to be available. What I didn't realize at the time was that healing myself was actually creating a healing space for both my kids. In fact, my healing created a safe space for them to heal from their own wounds, their own traumas. What started as me trying to heal my body resulted in my whole family healing their own bodies, minds, and selves. Before, we used to be codependent, always relying on each other for validation, even blaming each other so that we could stay secure in our own broken, egoic identities, because that was our normal. So if we knew only one way of life, that's how we operated. But once we started to learn about different possibilities and perhaps a better way of living, the option of change started to open up for us. And that's when we started to do better, because we knew better. Then choice comes into the picture. So as a family, we chose to transform. It was a conscious decision for us. After I started to change my way of being, building confidence in myself, healing my body, becoming naturally overall more positive about life. Slowly, my family also started to change, to shift into better realities for themselves. And I started to hold space for them. My role changed. Remember, your healing will positively impact the healing of everyone that you love in your family, even your friends. When you are healed and you are around people that have a lot of trauma to process, those people will slowly start to notice your brightness and ask you how you did it. They will look to you the way ships look to lighthouses. Today, we all have our own individual identities that are still peeling away. And the meaning of family for us has changed. For us, family is a safe space. So we can all express ourselves authentically. Not to be codependent, but operate together as a unit, to grow together. I don't sacrifice my own sense of self and my values to simply please another in my family or friend circle, because I don't need the validation. If I am going through a rough time, for example, my husband will hold space for me so I can go through whatever is showing up without him compromising his own sense of self. And that is the ultimate role of families. When you heal yourself, you open up the gates for healing for your entire lineage, past and future. And that will be your true legacy. I strongly believe that a family that practices self-awareness, takes responsibility for their own lives and decisions, and reflects on their own actions, that family will not only find true love and fulfillment in that environment, but also be able to weather any storm that comes their way. Because they are anchored in true love and togetherness. They are anchored in the light. A family that focuses on personal growth of each member will be truly successful. They will find happiness. They are the ones that will learn to dance in the rain and not wait for the storm to pass. Many people feel as though they need to leave their families, their partners, their kids, and go into the mountains, be physically alone to find self-fulfillment, and maybe even ascend to new levels of consciousness. That is not the case at all. In fact, I feel that ascension can be more self-sustaining if done in a family environment. Living alone while you're trying to raise your consciousness is relatively easier as compared to doing it within a family where you are more responsible on a day-to-day basis. In fact, living within a family while transforming the way you see your life is exceptionally hard. But the payoff is also exponential. The fastest way to unbreak your life is to evaluate where you are today without judgment and simply by beginning the work. Regardless of your current family situation, you can unbreak your family by following the path to your own personal truth. Use the opportunity of your family life, your mirror. Acknowledge who you have become. And if you don't like it, change. If you wish to learn more on how to get started, keep watching my videos. And if you're interested in personal coaching sessions, you can always reach out to me through my website that's listed in the description box below. If you are new here and you enjoyed watching this video, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for joining me today. Have a lovely rest of your day. Bye.